Okay, artists, these 3 different techniques are gonna be some things that you may want to try out in your altered book. So the first one, you can find it in the collage, cutting and pasting. Let's say I was going to use this magazine image, but I want to modify it or abstract it. So you can do that using this orange cleaner. You just want to spray. I like the colors here, but I don't really love that there's this text or these other things, and I want to kind of distort it. So you can spray this orange cleaner onto any magazine. It does need to be a magazine. It's just gonna pick up and lift up some of the ink and the way it's been printed. Then I can take a brush and I can start to work that in. And the more I work it in, the more it starts to create this faded, sort of old photo look, and I can start to actually paint. I'll just show you here. See, the ink has been loosened, and I'm just working to really blur and blend here in her shoulder area. Or you can come down here to abstract some of these leaves, this text. And the more that you work at it with the brush, the more it's gonna move, but sometimes you wanna get in there as well, a little more heavy-handed, and make it fully burnt out or burnt through. If you want to pull and distort things, this is a really great way. So you can use some paper towel to help with that. Again, it's only manipulating the existing printing ink, which is kind of a cool technique. It can give a faded, sort of modified look, and kind of makes some other areas of this, less distinct. So that then I might come and take this modified magazine image and use that in a creative way with a collage-based approach. So, right, just using my X-Acto knife later or my scissors as I need it. But I love how it gives this sort of really filtered kind of retro look. So that is the orange cleaner on magazines. Another really fun option is to do a solvent transfer. Okay, so for the solvent transfer, I'll just get a book page out to show. Let's say I wanted to get this leaf onto part of my book page. I'm going to do that using these blender markers. So these blender markers, they're just fully filled with acetone, so it's like a nail polish remover, or a really strong alcohol marker that's meant to blend other colors. But we just use the clear blender. Sorry about that, artists. We use the clear blender here to move the ink from the printed image and get it onto this. So I'm gonna put it face down now that I've got it printed out. If you want it to really stay put, it's a good idea to just quickly tape it, okay? And then making sure the lid is always on tight because these dry out very easily. I'm just gonna work bit by bit, getting a lot of this marker laid down over an area, going a couple of different directions and being careful that it's not moving. So you can see the image reveal, but the key thing here is now grabbing this spoon, pressure with fingers, and rubbing or burnishing it in. And through this pressure, it's kind of a little makeshift printmaking process that loosens the ink from your printed image, or a photocopy works really well, a black and white photocopy. And it's gonna start to transfer that leaf bit by bit. So if I've taped it, I can flip this up and see how that's going. But then I would just keep continuing on. If it's fairly big like this, you do wanna work in sections, just so that as you're burnishing, the marker is not drying out, it's still wet, okay, and it's still kind of doing its job. So you would do the whole image eventually, keeping the lid on tight always, and really pressing firmly. Just as kind of a really interesting look. And you can do it kind of imperfectly as well. See here where I didn't press very much, gives that sort of faded or vintage look. So that's gonna transfer an image directly on to your book page, solvent transfer. The last final idea for printmaking is that you may want to create a stencil. I'm just gonna get another book page happening here. And let's say I'm wanting to, I don't know, I've been kind of working with greens. Got the word plants showing, okay? And now I'm wanting to start to build more artwork over this map. And it could be really anything at all, a simple shape, a heart, the silhouette of a person. So whatever it is, I'm just gonna do something really simple here today. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a heart shape onto this map. So you wanna sketch out the window that you're cutting away to create your stencil. And it's whatever you've removed here. I'm using my cutting mat and my X-Acto knife to just follow the contours of my planned stencil. These can be as intricate and detailed or as big or small as you'd like. I'm just doing a small, simple one. Okay, trying not to force it. This is fairly thick paper, so it sometimes requires just a little more patience and a few more passes of your X-Acto. Don't force it, you don't want to cut yourself, and you don't want to have super jagged edges. Okay, so this is not the best heart in the world, but it's going to work for the purposes of our demo here. Just trying to get it right removed cleanly. Okay, and of course, if I take the center out and I'm not happy with how some of these edges are looking, it's a lot easier to come back around and just sort of tidy it up. Okay, those little bits can come away like that. All right, so I've now created my stencil. I may even have a use for this later in some sort of graphically cool way, right? There it is there. But now I just want to take this piece of cardstock, knowing where the heart is meant to go. I don't know, I'm gonna have it right here. Then I can take any acrylic paint or any gouache even could do the job. And I like to use sponge brushes for paper stencils. You wanna hold it very still or even tape it down. Tap off any excess here. And then just using a dabbing motion, you've created for yourself a sort of really neat graphic, like a stamp, using any color you want and a delicate touch. And I could repeat that as much as I want to, or use different colors or different sizes. Okay, and so that is your process there for paper stencil. I hope that these give you a little more inspiration of just some fun techniques we haven't tried before. Try them on your altered book, try them in your sketchbook. Good luck and have fun.